Victory at sea, Atlantic. Is it going to be a win or a bin? Let's have a quick read through of the description on Steam. Victory at Sea Atlantic transports you to the cold, unforgiving waters of the Atlantic Theatre in World War II. With a vast array of ships, planes, and subs, engage in epic sea battles and secure your place in victory. Victory at Sea Atlantic is the ultimate naval warfare experience. Yeah, and I don't really think that description lies or fails in any way. It's absolutely true. And for me, this, as somebody who's fascinated by the Second World War era, ticks so many boxes. Somebody who's played the U-boat game, which I don't know if anybody else has, superb game. And I enjoyed a game called Naval Hurricane earlier in my video history, and yeah, it's an era I like and a genre I like. It's a grand strategy game and a real-time strategy game. So the combat takes place in real time, should you choose to. You can skip battle should you wish, evade, or you can just have it auto-resolve. But the element of the two combined is really, really good. You've got your map mode for the planning and strategy side, should we say, for building, and then of course your real-time battle for fighting. So far in the game, there is a campaign mode only for the allies, and there is custom battles as well, so you can create your own custom battles. I've only had to go with a campaign, which includes a tutorial. The tutorial itself is like a black and white news flash thing of the era. You'll see perhaps during the video what I mean, but it's of that feel. It sets you into that sort of style. But when you play, you can play in black and white if you wish, actually, but equally there's color. I chose to play myself in color, and there's a few other options as well. Okay, so the things I do like, almost starting at the beginning, the options menu I think is excellent. Lots of options to change should you need to suit your gaming machine and make it work absolutely fine, but plenty to switch around. Game runs really nicely. I'm playing this at top level pretty much graphics, and despite other games I've played in recent videos looking far worse than this runs a treat. I mean, it's about 30 to 50 FPS at high level graphics settings, but it's fine. It's not a problem at all. And if I turn those down and it still looks good, then I get even more frames. So personally, it's very well optimized, this game. The game itself generally looks really nice. The details of the ships are superb. If you zoom right in, you can see all the guns and details on the ships, as well as the planes, to be honest, because there are aircraft in this too. The sea looks nice, the explosions look brilliant, the gunfire's good, sounds nice and meaty as well. It's an all-round good show, visually and audibly. I think the user interface during the real-time strategy phase is really good. It's actually very easy to utilize your ships and get them in formation and fire your weapons and get them selected and reloaded. That's all very good, which actually goes against one of my bad points about the actual map section of the game not being so great. But overall, the real-time strategy side in terms of the battles are very, very good and easy to get used to with all the buttons. Just an overall, really, for the good side, it's a very detailed game, and you'll see what I mean hopefully just from watching this. But if you were to play this, you will see the detail of what you can do, the different types of maneuvers you can do with different types of ships, the planes. They all kind of do different things. But the detail here is very good, visually, mechanically, and it's definitely a game for enthusiasts. The game is not so perfect. One problem I had with it, and this is the main gripe, is that it's so slow on all fronts. So during the actual battles themselves, although it's brilliant visually and user interface wise, it's slow, and sometimes you do have to just float around a while, moving around on the sea just to try and find an enemy. And even though you're going 8 times speed, it just takes ages. You've got no indication of which direction to go. It just feels like you're just waiting and watching. But you know, I don't think it's my impatience here. I think it is just genuinely a little bit slow to do anything. When it comes to the map mode and the kind of planning and building side of things, even if you're going at 100 times speed, it's ludicrously slow when it comes to things like building ships, building aircraft, building buildings. It's just incredibly slow. And sometimes you can't seem to order the buildings either. So you click on a city or town and you can build some buildings for it. When it comes to that, the user interface isn't so good. This is what I was saying. So I find it a little bit confusing. It's a bit clunky on the map mode. It's hard to see what does what. There's a lack of tooltips for things. As I say, building buildings takes forever. And even if you're going at 100%, time should really just be whizzing by. In fact, 100 times speed should be too quick for any game. And the fact that it's still a bit slow is a bit weird for me, to be honest. One final bad point overall is that there are AI voice tutorials in the game. Every time you go through the tutorial, each bit you get a little video, as I said earlier, and the AI voice is a little bit robotic. I don't like that. I prefer a real human doing the voiceover work. And during the game, you will hear some voice acting, so to speak. So you'll hear your sailor shout commands, and yeah, I don't think they're AI. Maybe they are, but if they're not, which I don't think they are, the voice acting is pretty bad. Just doesn't seem to fit in with the theme, and they just have very strange voices. So in my couple of hours playing this game, I have to say, I think it's excellent in so many levels. So the detail, the immersive nature of the actual battles at sea, although I didn't engage in too many myself, in much detail, in much depth. I can tell there's a lot going on here, and it's a fantastic element of the game. The letdown for me is actually the map mode, with the slowness and the unclear nature of some of the screens and some of the buttons and what best to do and what generates what. It just felt for me that it was a bit of a downside to the game overall. So it's somewhere in the middle to good for me. It's got a £30 price tag, this game. That is too steep. So this is an indie developer, I believe. So I get maybe they need to make their costs up. I'm not sure, but for that price, it's too much. I get the level of detail in here. I get it's for the enthusiasts, probably, and they may pay that. Fine, go ahead, enjoy it. Your money, great. But for me, knowing what this game's like, I wouldn't retrospectively pay £30. I'd probably pay somewhere in between 20-25. But there is a lot in here. I think I've not explored half of this game because there's amphibious assaults and all sorts of things. I've only played a couple of hours, but just gauging for what I've seen, it's perhaps a little bit overpriced. But I still think this is a good game, so I'm going to give it somewhere in the middle for my rating.